And good morning. It's the early morning Sunday show. Yeah, okay. I keep thinking I'm going to have something witty to come up with after that. And every week I am pretty much blank on the whole thing. I just reached my coffee and take a sip and been doing that for, I don't know, 6 years, 7 years. I don't even know how long I've done this. You get old, it doesn't matter. You just don't know. I've been on vacation for a couple days. I have everything boxed up except now my rock records from A to up to P. They have to be packed up. I went backwards in the alphabet. Yeah, because see, that's fuller, so I can then put in what I'm showing next week up there for a time being. I got 2 more weeks before I head out to Denver, so I got plenty of time. I packed up my t-shirts, so my t-shirts selection, from over 100 is now down to about 10, and yeah, except for my ones I work and wear white. But so yeah, hey, and if you were under a rock, just in case you were under a rock last week, Record Store Day list came out. I first, again, my first glance was, nope. And then I hit, Rain Parade. Their album, Third Rail's on here, which is I've been looking for desperately. I had an original. I still have the vinyl, needed the cover. Record Store Day will get that for me. So, yeah, a lot of 2 LP sets, a lot of live. Jim Gleason and I will be discussing that on our podcast, Two Guys Talking About Records, which will be aired Sunday evening. So please check out that podcast on Spotify. It's on YouTube on Radio Wasteland. You can check out Radio Wasteland. It's on Facebook. Two Guys Talking About Records. Okay, Third Man Pressing Plant. I took that tour. Phenomenal. I was in there over 2 hours, 2 to 3 hours almost, and it was the friendliest, nicest place. The people were wonderful. All the people working there took time to talk to you. Whatever. Had just the greatest tour. I have over an hour of footage. I'm going to break it down into 3 segments, and I hope you'll watch each of them because it was fascinating. It really was super interesting for us. Now, again, just about records, and they're all record collectors. They even have a collection in there that they put on a turntable. Yes, they play vinyl on a turntable for the factory, and whoever comes by gets to pick what they want. They even had a polka record. So it was a truly amazing place. I just wow, and just had the best time ever. And just for them, the plant manager Eddie took me around and introduced me, showed me how we do the colored records, is the process. They have the manual machines, but they've had so much demand. They have also automated machines, from packaging, quality control, saw it all. Had a lot of questions that I asked, and check it out when I get it. The opening was in Frankenmuth. That was part of Winterfest. That's the ice sculpture tent. And they put them in the tent trying to preserve them. They were melting, but it was pretty neat. The theme this year was Under the Sea, as you can see. And that was neat. That's probably going. I have some more ice, some more snow sculptures, but I think we're done with that now. We'll go on to something else for an opening. But Frankenmuth's Winterfest that they had in January. So yeah, I think that's about it. It's time to move in. It's time to move into phase 2 of this video. And let's begin part 2 of this video, the exciting part where I'm going to yak about records. Though most people sit in at 33% of the people don't, or is it 66% of the people don't even get to the part where I yak about records. So I think my beginning is the exciting part. That's what most people see. So, but for those of you that decided, let's just hear about records, let's do this. The Sundays. I have an original of this. Can't find it. It's boxed up by now. There's no doubt about it. But I found that. I didn't buy it when it first came out. I bought it in CD. But later I found it in a record store. Oh, I don't know, maybe 7, 8 years ago. Still wasn't overly priced. Now, way overpriced. But the Sundays from Bristol. Formed in 88, broke up in 97. They did 3 albums. Reading, Writing, Arithmetic. This is the one. This is the one that put them out in the stratosphere, and they just never, to most, ever, were able to redo again. The lead singer is Harriet Wheeler, and then the guitarist was David Gurin, Gavarin, Gavurin, Gavarin, who knows? All right, they met in college in Bristol, and they fell in love. So, yes, that's nice. They fell in love, and they decided to form a band. They called themselves the Sundays, and there's a really good reason why they called themselves the Sundays. It's the only name the band could agree upon. That was it. They couldn't agree on anything else, so we are called the Sundays. Reading, Writing, Arithmetic was the first album that came out that they did in 1990. And I remember this came out, and probably a lot of you do. And it's like, that's beautiful. This was the song on here. Here's Where the Story Ends. Was all over the charts. And it was beautiful. It was just one of the most incredible songs. This album went to number 4 in the UK and went to number 39 in the US, so it really did well. The song itself, Here's Where the Story Ends, is an earworm song. It talks about this terrible year, and it's a song about breakup. They're breaking up, this couple's breaking up, but, and it's dark. But even within the darkness, there is light ahead of the tunnel. And that's what it's just trying to say. Even though it's a terrible year, there's something better that can happen. Gorgeous song. It just sticks in your brain because it is just this verse that suddenly, forever, whatever reason, will not come in my tongue. But yet, late at night, it just keeps playing over and over. Repeat, repeat, repeat. It's maddening. It's maddening. Music is torture at times. Okay, but all right. So this is just the album is layered with ringing guitar hooks and just this unconventional, ethereal type vocals. Think kind of a little bit of a Cocteau twin. She has Harriet Wheeler has this little girl type voice, and it's just beautiful. It's just, man. The whole album, it's just so much. It's so good. It's just catchy guitar folk pop. Again, with these enchanting little girl type vocals, wonderful stuff. I mean, let's just face it. Here's Where the Story Ends. That's what you're going to play over and over again. For me, it's always been a repeat. But the whole album was very good. Really happy to find this reissue. This came out last year, and it sold out. And as usual, I slept. I didn't catch it on time. I didn't see it. And I was going onto all the sites. Nobody had this. And I walk into the store in Grand Rapids, and the guy goes, I got this one album. And he shows me this. And the markup on this thing had gone way up in Discogs. He still had it for what he had originally bought it for. He goes, I just had this for someone to find a treasure. For someone to say, wow, what a deal. I mean, isn't that cool? The guy did that, instead of just putting it up to what Discogs is asking for. I mean, even medium value, it's almost triple digit on a reissue. But he hadn't done that, so this was like, wow. Love this album. So happy. Laughing Hyenas. I sent one of these albums to my friend Michael, and for him to listen to, and down over in Cleveland. And it's out of Third Man Records. Third Man Records does a ton of Detroit music, which is great. I mean, you want to kind of get into what Detroit rock's all about. Third Man Records really takes this Detroit rock and celebrates it, and has been reissuing it. And this is one of the albums, Laughing Hyenas. And this is they're from Ann Arbor, formed in '85, broke up in '95. Hardcore punk, post-hardcore punk blues, and any of that would kind of fit into it. These guys, they played with Mudhoney, they played with Sonic Youth, they played with Dinosaur Jr., except they never went anywhere. Nothing happened. Their career just stalled. They couldn't get any traction whatsoever. They just had no commercial success. They did 3 studio albums. Life of Crime, this one is their second one. Came out in 1990. Critics generally will say this is their best album. This is the one they like the most. It is accessible. Yes, it's hardcore punk, which sometimes can be a little overwhelming, but this isn't too bad. I mean, it is filled with blistering guitars, just these skull crunching type drummings happening, and just this very thick type bass lines being pounded in, and these gale force vocals. I know it sounds super listenable, doesn't it? Wow, hey honey, let's put this on. But it's actually very good. They even have one slow song on here called Outlaw, which was like their token ballad. But even that is still, they rain fire and brimstone down on you. I mean, it's just, oh my God. Butch Vig did this album for them. He put it together, produced it. And this just, it's filled with catchy songs. It's just hard rockin', punk, but some catchy melodies in there. Great stuff. Laughing Hyenas, Life of Crime, well worth it. Jazz. Let's talk about jazz. I think I get this off. No, this was Invite Me Please. I think I bought this on clearance. This was, again, there was a record distributor that was going out of business, and they had a clearance sale happening, and so they would get some stuff. This is one of them. Out of the Cool, the Gil Evans Orchestra. I don't really like a lot of orchestrated jazz. I like orchestra. I like classical orchestra. Orchestrated jazz, maybe not so much. And Gil Evans sometimes gets a little more than I want. But this is good. Out of Cool came out in 1960. Gil Evans had just came off doing the last 3 albums with Miles Davis. And he learned something. He learned about the importance of less orchestration and more focus on the rhythm section. And that's what he puts together on here. Those are important lessons from Miles Davis. And this is, I was very impressed. I wish they had the, it starts with La Nevada. La Nevada. It's warm, breezy, laid back, kind of a West Coast type jazz, that feel that you get with that song. Ray Crawford plays guitar on there, and he just has this funky blues that's going on. Really sounded great. You have, what was it, Flamingo Fly. I wish they had on the inside, Where Flamingos Fly was the song. Where Flamingos Fly. It's just lovely,
beautiful song. Just has kind of almost warm type feel to it. It is a jazz standard, and there's just lots of different players on it, but it feels very intimate and very cool sounding. This album, I mean, you have tubas, you got trombones, oboes, trumpet, sax. I said, he pared down, not as much orchestration, but it got the tuba for crying out loud. But it's done well. Again, there's a good rhythm section going on, and it truly makes a difference. It pushes it forward, just keeps pushing it forward. The music was fun and enjoyable. I was delighted with this. I would use the word delighted because it's classier. He's dressed up nice. And yeah, great album. It really was, if you find it at a good price. I was happy, to pick this up. So Gil Evans, Out of the Cool. But cool. Gil Evans was cool on that one. He was back in cool. This was a nice original to find. The Smiths, The Queen is Dead. When the Smiths first hit big back in the 80s, I didn't much care for them. It really wasn't my thing. They didn't get a ton of airplay within the U.S., at least not to where I was living. And, and I knew some of the stuff and whatever. Through the years, and you know what? And I bought Smiths on CD later on, and okay. Through the years, I've really gotten to like them. Then Tone Scott, which I haven't seen a video from him in ages, which is sad. But he sent me some Johnny Marr albums, and they were great. I was blown away by them. Very exciting, and so happy to have them. And it really opened my eyes up to Johnny Marr and his guitar playing. And so this is Smiths, formed in 82, broke up in 87 out of Manchester. British indie rock. You guys, you can kind of think of the Smiths coming in and starting to dismantle the synth-heavy new wave that was going on. They brought guitars back. Johnny Marr brought guitars back to the UK rock scene and began to push back so much synth pop. Queen is Dead was their fourth album that came out in 86, and many consider to be the classic Smiths album. Johnny Marr, he just has this dense web of guitar styles that he does, but still there's this jangle that's happening on there. It sounds beautiful. The lyrics, they're witty, they're satirical. Morrissey's very good at that. And they just really get into the British social mores that are happening, and just looking at society and go, why do we do this? So he really points at it. You have the boy with what is it called, the boy with the thorn in his side. The boy with the thorn in his side really it's just has this wishful feel. Really beautiful song. I really like that. Queen is Dead starts this off just hard rocking. It got you interested. It says, hey, listen to this, and it brought you into this album. Everything came together for the Smiths on this album. After that, I think the cracks began to happen. There was a lot more problems. Obviously we had different egos between Morrissey and Mars, so Morrissey's kind of a different dude. But it took me a long time to get into the Smiths. I do enjoy them. I have most of their albums now. I've been able to get originals on them, so super excited always about that, to find these originals. So yeah, very nice. The Queen is Dead. When you're tired probably knows about them. You know, again, I was late to the party. Rain Parade. This was from a record store day. 1980 around Paisley Underground Classic. This was their second album that they put out. And do we have anything special? Yep, that's Pinky. Oh, it's Pinky. And we got Blank White. There we go. Okay. So, Paisley Underground. When you say Paisley Underground, you say Rain Parade. And they originally called themselves the Sidewalks. Good call on changing the name there from the Sidewalks, because if you're the Sidewalks, everyone walks all over you. Who wants that? Who wants a group where everyone walks all over you? So the name was changed. Dave Runback, again, vocal, guitars. He left after the first album. So this album really, there might be parts of him in here, but for the most part, it's not. He's not on this thing. Explosion in a Glass Palace came out in 1984. And it is just, this is wonderful. It's loaded. There's special effects, droning. The vocals are good. There's catchy hooks in here. And really, it catches the spirit of the 60s psych, which is what they were about. That's what they were trying to do. It's only 20 minutes long. It's almost like an extended EP. But it's 20 minutes of beauty as far as I'm concerned. Really nice. The music is, there's just wonderful stories on here. I mean, it's about the beauty of the world as they sing about murder, madness, and drug paranoia. That's what it's about. I mean, talk about beauty. Yes, let's look at the underbelly and sing about it. No ever is, what did I want? Fry on Tansgate. I was trying to think of what one of these songs was. Now I can't think of it, but No Easy Way Down was one. What was that about? That doesn't matter. At times, this could be pretty trippy on here, okay? And again, and they did add a bonus track just to make this thing slightly longer, okay? That was it. No Easy Way Down. That gets really trippy. It's like the Beatles almost. In fact, you have that kind of feel for just the trippiness of it. It's just, very, very cool song. They did put out an album last year, Last Rays of a Dying Sun. That was one of my favorite albums of last year that I basically stumbled upon. But this is a great album, too, that you never seen really shown. Again, it came out on Record Store Day. I don't even know, what was it, this year? Who knows? I don't know when it came out. But I loved it. Really good for that. If you like the Paisley Underground, you can't go wrong. Okay, next we got a twofer. Camper von Beethoven. 2 albums from Camper von Beethoven. This is their third album called Camper von Beethoven. Let's do our third album, call it the self-titled album. First 2 must have tanked, that's why. Then we have this one, and this is Tales, Our Beloved Revolutionary Sweetheart. Our Beloved Revolutionary Sweetheart, Camper von Beethoven. So, this group formed in 83. Broke up in 90, and their lead singer David Lowery went on to form Cracker, which I'm sure a lot of you remember from the 90s. Cracker had some pretty good stuff. I thought they were a little inconsistent though at times, so I never was I bought the CDs, but that was it. Camper von Beethoven, I got into them with Pictures of Matchstick Men when they did that. What a wonderful song. I love that album, Key Lime Pie. That was my first Camper von Beethoven. These came before that. Can I find Key Lime Pie now? I cannot. At least not the album. I have found the actual pie, and it is quite tasty. But the album, it eludes me, and what's asked for on Discogs is crazy stupid prices. So I have the original vinyl. That's about it. But, so Camper Van Peebles is kind of surrealist, folk, absurd, almost folk. I mean, that's the way David Lowery, his lyrics are just kind of crazy. And, you know, this one here, this was their third album, you know, self-titled. Kind of a weird vocal mix of, you hear reggae, you hear folk, country, and more. I mean, it's just like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing something of everything. He kind of puts it all in there. It's enjoyable at times, a little weird at times. Yeah, there's just tape manipulation going on in here. Kind of a semi-psych type touches happening. And, you know, and there's some fun songs, you know, Good Guys and Bad Guys. Joe Stalin's Cadillac. I mean, how much more fun can you ask? So he really goes off on his edge on some really weird stuff, which makes it fun. Interstellar Overdrive. Yes, he does Interstellar Overdrive, which is why I bought this, just for that one. And we have even a Stairway to Heaven. Yeah. The history of Utah. So, I mean, that just says it all. Quirky. There we go. Quirky. This doesn't cost a whole lot of anything. Originally it was $3. I get that off, but yeah, I can't provide Beethoven's third album. Then there was the fourth album, Our Beloved Revolutionary and Sweetheart. This came out in 1988. And yeah, again, there's some there's some reggae, there's some hard rock, there's folk. It's that whole stew put together again. And, you know, it begins with Waka. Waka, I believe is what it's called. You know, we can't put the song. Oh, for God's sakes. There's the label. I like the label. No one can put song titles on the back. It's freaking stupid. I'm being crabby. Okay, but it's a stomper of a song. It's really good. It's sharp. This album's sharper, much more political than the other one. He really is coming at his things with his writing. And oh my God, my Path Belated, My Path Belated. You know, if you look, I think those are song titles. My Path Belated is a real good stomper. I think this is a more consistent album than this one. This one has goofier songs, kind of fun. This one, I think he's just trying to say a little bit more, and it's better put together. After this came Key Lime Pie. That was really good. Forgot for this week. Hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking about it, so that's what matters. It's my show. I can enjoy it, but I appreciate you hanging out with me, and I'll see you next week. Have a great one. Bye.